It was part of our education. Today's youngsters aren't taught that in a history lesson.
Yeah.
They're not taught about the Second World War. We were reminded of the Second World War so that our generation would never allow it to happen again.
I think it's also now something to do with private schools as well. I think in private schools their history is more enforced and you learn more in history, and I've noticed that difference doing international development and realising there's just things I just don't know, and I didn't even realise I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's the kids that went to private school that know all about British history.
I mean, we were taught initially about British history. The kings, the queens, all the battles that they had within England, okay? Obviously when I was in Europe, about Europe and how they were involved in the First World War and the Second World War. But in England you had to learn about all the kings and queens of England, how they affected the way the British Empire was formed, okay? The Crusades, we learnt about the Crusades. Then we went on to learn about, obviously, the First World War, the Great War, and then we went on to learn about the Second World War. And the Second World War was obviously the atrocities that the Germans committed against the Jews.
I've got a quick question that's completely unrelated. How do women form opinions of other women? Like, when they're in school, how do they think what is right and what's wrong about other women, about how they look?
You're trying to do Mel Gibson on me here now, aren't you? What women think.